it's Emmy. Welcome back. Today I will be talking about how to make painted paper. I've been using a lot of these over on my Instagram account to make collages like this one. This one has pretty quiet paper, but some of them have more textures. So I'll show you some of my favorites, and we're gonna get started making them in a minute. So these are the kind of papers I've been making. This one is made on medical exam paper, and I got the idea from another YouTuber. I think her name's Jackie. I'll leave the link below. But this paper it's very sheer, as you can see through it. And when you get it wet, if you use medium, it dries almost clear. And so I used it on here. It worked better in those spots, but it does leave like a really cool texture. I like using these on canvases too, and they work really good on that. If you've used a kind of more plain paper, this is a fun way to make it look like you added pattern. But today we're going to be making lots of patterned ones. So I will not be working with the medical exam paper. It's a little more delicate, and I just kind of want to get in there and make a mess today. So these are, here's some more medical exam paper, and I love this. It was just like I took a paintbrush and just stabbed it with paint pretty much. The important thing to note is that it all needs to be waterproof paint, so you can't use watercolor. You can use ink, like acrylic ink. Make sure it's waterproof ink first and that it doesn't re-wet. You can use, you know, like acrylic paint, fluid acrylics, even like a craft paint will work. It just has to be waterproof. If you're going to use glue on top. If you're going to use glue under it, it doesn't really matter, I guess. And I'm calling this glue, but it's matte medium, and I use it like glue. So this is rice paper that has been painted, usually with one color at a time, although this one, I just striated the brush across it and it left really cool streaks. And even the solid color ones, they have this really fun texture that is so pretty. Probably not working on these today either because they take a while to dry. So I want to make more papers like this, where this is just, it's just like drawing paper. It's not like that thick, but it's a little thicker than printer paper, I guess. I will find the exact paper I used and put the link in the description, but also I'll put the weight of the paper on the screen. You don't want to use a thick paper like watercolor because it's not going to layer well, and the glue is not going to soak in very well. But this is, I mean, it's a little nicer than like newsprint, and it's a solid white color, so that's nice. And then I cut those into smaller pieces, which I will be doing in a minute. I already have some pre-cut. We're gonna need paint. I like to use the cheap, junky paintbrushes for this because it leaves a nice texture. If you have old, ratty paintbrushes that are dying, now's the time to use them. Fan brushes make cool textures. Perfectly new brushes, they don't do as well. I also like to use a foam brush because if you pounce, it leaves a really cool mark. I will be playing with my Gelli plate as well. If you've never played with a Gelli plate, it is super fun. Like, a lot of people do things with them that are a lot more artistic, I guess. I use mine to make weird papers. I just want texture. You can create texture that looks like old rust. It's just really fun. It's really fun to use. And mine's really dirty. Oh, it's coming off on the thing. Oh, the dirtier it gets, the better. So if you buy one, you're going to want to keep this little clamshell to keep it in and keep it clean, especially if you have pets and you don't want dog hair getting all over it, like what would happen to me. I'm using a brayer, and I will be using, I'll be using some bubble wrap because it leaves a really cool texture too. And I just want weird marks and texture today. That's what I'm going for. So I'm gonna get this set up a little better to work, and then we'll get started. All right, I have my setup ready. So I have the jelly plate with the protective sheet taken off. I have some paper over here, and then I have another sheet over here that I will be using to offload excess paint. I also have a mixing palette right here off screen if I need it. As usual, it's dirty. So I'm going to start with the green gold fluid acrylic. I really like this color. It's very translucent, and I already have some of it on here. So you're just going to put it on there and use a roller. You could use a brush if you want, doesn't matter. And all this, there's way too much on here, so we're just gonna put it on this extra sheet of paper, and it already has really cool texture just from that. All right, so next we can put a sheet of paper on top. You can use your hand to press. I have this brayer because I already own it, and it's for block printing, lino printing. But you can use your hand or like a, you know, a jar or something like that. And you just press. And when you peel it up, it has a really cool texture. Now, if I wanted to get all of that off, I could leave it for longer, let it dry, and then peel it away. And what that does is it peels away all the extra, but then you're left without a jelly press for like 10 minutes and you get bored. So you might want 2 jelly presses. All right, so you can layer the prints. So we'll sit this one to the side and let it dry for a little bit so that we can layer prints. For this one, I'm gonna offload it again. And did I ruin this? I don't know. The offloads are always, you get what you get. You can flip them over and use them again too. For this one, I'm gonna use this gross brush and just kind of drag it across and see what kind of texture that gets. It looks like stripes. And once again, offload it onto a paper. We don't waste anything when we're doing this. It's very fun. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put that on top. And so each color that you layer, usually it leaves a little bit behind, and then you pick it up on the next one. So you generally want to pick colors that will look good together. Brown's not normally my color, but I don't know, thought it'd be fun. All right, look at that. That is super fun. I like that a lot. And so I didn't mention it earlier, you're going to want a dryer rack if you like doing this. I have a drying rack. It holds about 24 sheets of the corrugated plastic. I need intervention, seriously. Like, stop making so much paper. But then I go to make art and I don't have enough of the colors that I want, so then I gotta make more. It's very fun. But don't start this unless you like collage, because what are you gonna do with all this paper? I don't know, but it is fun. On this one, it's probably dry enough. I'm just gonna kind of add some stuff and offload. All right. So, new sheet of paper. You can go through a lot of paper doing this. And that's fun texture. So for the next one, I'm going to kind of just paint dots on it. It's nice working with a limited palette sometimes, because then all the papers go together really well and you don't end up with mud, which there's no problem with mud, but this still has blue on it, but I'm gonna just mix it anyways. That'll be fine. You really gotta just be loose. And experiment. I don't know that I've ever made one that I thought was ugly. Like, it usually comes in handy for something. So on this one, I'm going to let it sit for a little bit longer so that it can get some of the paint that's starting to dry on it. So you'll put your hand on it and you can kind of feel that it's wet because it's kind of cold where it's still wet. And if you're impatient, you can kind of flip it over and get an idea of what it'll look like. I still have this protective sheet on the back, so that's what you're seeing. But it's kind of cool to see it in that way too. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for a minute and we will come back to it. All right, we're gonna come back to this. I don't think it's gonna pull it up well enough, but the next one after this, which should be pretty good. That is a fun one though. I think I'm gonna add some bronze. So adding metallic to it, that's how you end up creating like kind of rust looking papers. I don't love painting with metallics always, but this is a super fun technique. All right, and it peeled off more of the blue color, so it's really pretty. And so if I layer it with a cream color, I'll grab some. It looks like old wallpaper, or I don't know, old paint, I guess. This is titanium buff. And so when you're all done with this, you can be a good jelly plate owner and clean it, or you can get as much of the dirt off, the paint off as you can, and hope that it leaves you cool textures for next time, which is normally what I do. But if you want to clean it, like gentle soap works. Running out of space. All right. And let it dry completely before you put it away. Make sure you keep it in that clamshell, like I said. Let's let this sit a little bit longer. So far, my favorite is this one. I love it. It's very distressed looking. All right. This will be a good layering piece though. All right. But you can see some little bits that come through. This isn't the best, but it's pretty good. Yeah, like I'm never upset with how it turns out. I usually think it's pretty cool. So I want kind of polka dots. And I think we're gonna layer this over something else that we've already done. Probably our offload sheet. It's pretty dry. So this is how the offload sheet's looking. The metallic's really pretty. If you don't like what you get, the results, you can add another layer. You just do what I'm doing and put more paint on there, try something different. That's pretty fun. So I don't know what I'm gonna use these for. That's kind of part of the fun too, is figuring it out. I mean, this would make like a nice beach, like sandy beach or something. I like the green for like leaves, that kind of stuff. All right, I'm gonna put some green on there. Let's see, do I have a good one? We'll make a solid one and then like a solid-ish one. And then we'll, I wanna use, we'll just play, okay? Oh, that's fun. It picked up all the spots on the roller. That's super fun. Oh, I love it. That one's gonna be so fun to use. All right. I should have got more paper out. I always regret not like getting enough paper out. Always cut more down than you think, because you can do this for hours. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, I like it. All right, next we're gonna put this light blue on there. The other thing I will say is that if you're doing this a lot and you're making splatters and stuff, get yourself an apron or wear clothes you don't care about, because you will ruin your clothes. I found that out the hard way. So I have a little apron that I wear, and it's kind of silly, but I kind of love it. All right, we're gonna take this bubble wrap. It has been used before, but it just keeps going. Sometimes the colors that are already on there come off, so let's see about this gold. Oh, I think there's purple. What color is that? Purple? All right. And that's super fun. We're going to put this extra on one of these sheets where I have it extra paint down at the bottom. And off screen, I'll show you what the results are, because there's paint on there and it will make a mess. So it's really cool. All right, am I out? All right, we're gonna do that. I'll just do it at the bottom of this. All right, it's a super fun texture. Okay, I'm pretty happy with what I've made so far. I'm going to offload what's left on here onto the bottoms of these. Oh, that's nice. It took a lot off of that. That's really cool. So if you want to get it clean, you can wash it, like I said, or you can leave it for next time, and then you have all this texture that will eventually come off as you're working. I think there is also a way with matte medium, which I do have right in front of me. I'm not going to use that today. I think I've made enough paper. I'm kind of out. I have this little bit right here, but I'll probably just take some paint. I'll do that on screen. Oh, I have some right here. Okay, so I'm going to put the jelly plate away. Found some bonus paper. Get the little foam brush wet. I have a little bit of paint on my palette that's off screen, and just okay, let's get some more paint out. All right, I'm mixing buff titanium and bronze and see what happens. Okay. I'm trying to keep in mind what kind of textures and patterns I want while I'm working, and so stripes I get used a lot, polka dots, so a messy coat down on this. Let's see. This is also a really, if you paint with acrylic paints, this is a great way to use the excess that's on your palette. Just put it on a paper, or have some nearby you, and then when you have extra paint, you can just offload it, and it doesn't feel like you're wasting it. So I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. So there's this piece that looks nice and distressed and rustic, where the paint was still gloopy. It made like a really cool, like crackly texture. It's really fun. There's this one, very neon. This one that we just made. This one, and has a lot of the nice rustic spots too. All right, let me grab the other ones. So there's, trying to get it in the frame. All right, there's that one. And there's this one with the bubble wrap. There is this fun stripey one. I really like that one a lot. Super easy to create too. This one has just some offload and some bubble wrap. It's super fun. And more bubble wrap. Painting just like streaks with the brown coming through. We got the bronze, which hopefully you can see that it's really shiny. It's got the blue with it. The layered blue and green offloading. We made a lot. I say we, because you guys helped. All right, some bronze, some blue dots that are still wet, and they're gonna leave a really fun texture. There's the green from the first bit. I think this is a newer jelly plate, and that's why it left those like weird spots. Hasn't been used in a while either. I've been neglecting it. Just some weird offloading spots, which I can probably add to. It'll get used. I've been really enjoying collage. It's just, there's something free about it. Okay, so the green and this weird one. All right, and so if you like this content, please leave me a comment and subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my collage work, go over to Instagram. I'll leave it below, and go check out the reels that I've been making. I'm really enjoying them. Thanks for watching.